Today we're making pasta, and I'm going to take you out into my herb garden and I'm going to show you some wonderful herbs that you can use in any pasta dish. Here we go. So the first herb we're going to pick from my herb garden is oregano. Now, oregano has been around for thousands of years. It actually belongs to the mint family. And the Greeks and the Romans associate oregano with joy and happiness. So let's add a little bit of happiness to our pasta today. Hi guys. So here we have some basil. Now basil is a warm weather herb, and it's also part of the mint family. And Italian cuisine loves basil, but also Mediterranean, a lot of different cuisines, because it's very, very fragrant. And oh wow, I could just, whoo, it smells so good. So hopefully by August, this basil plant that I have here will grow enormous, really, really big, lots of leaves. And I'm gonna make some pesto out of it, probably this August or maybe even July. But I also have some mint here. And if you could see my mint, oh wow, it looks great. I'm gonna pluck off some of this mint and I'm gonna put it in my water today. Put some ice, maybe some cucumber, and it will make my water taste delicious. Hi guys. My mint water is delicious. So I'm gonna drink this because we need lots of water for hydration. And I'm gonna drink this while I'm cooking today. And I'm gonna start our wonderful pasta recipe. So I'm gonna use some pasta, any type of pasta you can use. You could use angel hair pasta. I know a lot of kids like angel hair pasta. You could use spaghetti, you could use rigatoni, you could use whatever you want. So I got my pasta here. I've got that wonderful oregano and basil, those fresh herbs, but maybe you don't have access to fresh herbs. You can always use dried Italian seasoning for this if you'd like. But I'm gonna use a little bit of both, of all of it. I've got some garlic pepper I'm gonna use. I've got some fresh garlic. You could chop some fresh garlic. I have some tomatoes. I have some green onion. And I also have a shallot I'm gonna use. I just wanna get this used up. It's, you know, I've had it for about a week and I wanna use it up. So I'm gonna use this shallot because they're really good for you. It's part of the onion family. And it'll taste really good. And did I tell you I have some tomatoes? I've got some tomatoes too. You could use 2 tomatoes, you could use 3, you could use 4, you could use 5, however many tomatoes you want. I have some artichokes halves here. I'm gonna use some artichokes in this, but you don't have to. You could add some mushrooms, you could add some shrimp, all kinds of things. You can change this up to make it what you and your family enjoy. That's the beautiful thing about pasta. You can change it up. So you don't have to copy what I do exactly. Please know that. All right, let's get started. Hi guys. So the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna fill a large pot with water. And maybe about 6 quarts, fill the pot maybe half to 3/4 full. And you're gonna add a couple of pinches of salt to that water. That salt will help season the pasta. It'll help the water come to a full boil faster. And it's always nice to add a little salt. I'm also gonna add a little bit of olive oil, just maybe a teaspoon. You know, I'm just gonna kind of boom, boom, just a little bit. So that the pasta does not stick together. And I'm gonna fill this up and put it on high heat on top of my oven so I can get that to a full boil. Hi guys, so I have my water going here. If you want the water to come to a boil faster, you can put the lid on it and it'll come to a boil faster, but I'm okay. I'm just gonna leave the lid off and let it come to a full boil. I also have a skillet here. I'm gonna use a skillet for the other part, so I have that ready to go. And over here, I have my cutting board and I'm ready to do some chopping. Hi guys. So the first thing we're gonna chop is a tomato. This is a Roma tomato. You can use any kind of tomato. You can use a steak tomato, but I like these in Italian cuisine. We're going to first core it, and that means take your knife and with a serrated knife and kind of saw around that top portion where it grows on to the stem. And I'm gonna take that and I'm gonna throw it in the trash. I do not need it. Then I'm gonna cut my tomato in half, keeping my fingers curled, and I'm gonna take these seeds out. I'm gonna run it under the water and take these seeds out. So I took the seeds out. Mr. Califano really doesn't like the seeds. Some people enjoy the seeds. If you want the seeds in, by all means, but sometimes it makes it a little mushy for him. He doesn't like that. So I always take the seeds out because you always wanna make the people you're cooking for happy. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna put this on the flat surface, and I'm going to cut through, and I'm going to dice it. So you're gonna cut through, and then you're gonna go the other direction and cut again, so that you have pieces that look about like this. So you see that? And make sure you're washing everything. All your vegetables need to be washed, your herbs need to be washed, everything should be washed when you do this. So I'm gonna cut all of this up. So I got all my tomatoes chopped. The next thing I'm gonna chop are my green onions. Green onions grow in the earth like this. So you wanna take off the root. Some of the darker green part you may wanna take off, but I'm gonna use this entire thing. But I'm gonna cut off these roots. So just chop off those roots real quick, and then you're going to take a chef knife. A chef knife would work better for this. And you're just going to saw through and chop that up. Just chop it all up. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my shallot. So I've cut this in piece, and now I'm gonna peel this off and reveal what the shallot looks like inside this outer husk. Now you can see there's 2 in 1. So it's a 2-for-1 deal, I guess. So you're going to, basically it kind of looks like a red onion. It's kind of a sweeter type of onion. So I'm gonna take it to this point and then chop it. So I have all that outer husk taken off, and I've thrown it away. I'm just gonna chop through here, and I'm gonna mince this red shallot, not a red onion, it's a shallot. So I'm gonna mince it up. So when you go to mince, just kind of just do the rocking motion and cut it up real small. Mincing means to cut very small. So I'm just gonna keep doing this till I have it nice and small. Well, that shallot made me cry a little bit. Again, it's part of the onion family, and look at me, I'm crying. And I'm not sad, I'm just crying from that shallot. So I'm gonna add some artichokes to my pasta because we like artichokes. However, if you don't like artichokes, you don't have to add them. So I'm just gonna take the jar, and I have them here, and I'm just gonna cut them up a little bit. Hi guys, so the last thing I'm gonna chop are my herbs. And so I've washed them really well because, you know, they were growing in my yard, and I'm gonna pat them dry with the towel, and then I'm going to chop those up to add to my sauce. The oregano, I'm gonna pluck the leaves off and just make a nice little pile of leaves, and then I'll just run my chef knife through them and chop them up a little bit more, but I'm just going to pluck them all off first. The same with the basil. I've got all those leaves. I'm just gonna, I think I've already talked to you guys about this, stacking it like a sandwich and then rolling it like a taquito and chopping those up. So I'm gonna chop up all my herbs. Hi guys. So my water is at a full rapid boil. So I'm gonna add a pound of pasta or a package of pasta into that water and stir it nice and good so it doesn't stick. I have that oil in there to help that, and I'm gonna cook that for about 10, maybe to 12 minutes, depending on the pasta type. Hi guys, so on this side of my stove, I have my skillet. and I'm heating it up right now. And I'm gonna add about 1/4 of a cup to 1/2 of a cup of olive oil, depending on how much olive oil you want. Now I'm just gonna eyeball this, but you might wanna use a measuring cup for this, okay? And I'm gonna heat that up. So with the olive oil, you don't want to start a grease fire, so you do not want to forget about it. So you do not leave your stovetop. You watch all of this. Now notice, the pasta went in, then I turned on my skillet. Now all my veggies and everything's already chopped, so I don't have to worry about that. So you shouldn't turn this on until your veggies and your herbs, everything's chopped and ready to go. So the first thing that's going into the olive oil are the shallots and the green onion. Ooh, do you hear that sizzle? That oil is hot. Woo! Now I'm gonna add the garlic. So onion and garlic. Hi, Lily. Woo! It's a sizzling, it's a popping. So be careful because it gets real hot. Now, the next thing that's going to go in are the onions. Not the onions, I already put the onions in. The tomato and the artichokes that I have. Now, keep in mind that there's a lot of moisture, so it's really going to pop when I put those in. And here we go. Woo! Okay, I'm gonna push that around, and then you're gonna season it. Now again, you guys can add more, you can add mushrooms, you can add more, whatever you want. I'm gonna stir my pasta real quick. And I'm gonna add a little bit of salt. Bam, boom, whatever you want to say. I'm gonna add a little bit of this dried Italian herb because it's so delicious. I'm gonna add, garlic pepper. You guys know how I feel about garlic pepper. I'm gonna add a little bit of that. And guess what's next? You guessed it, those fresh herbs. Excuse me, Lily. All right, so here we go. I wish you guys could smell this. It smells delicious. It sure does. Now we're gonna put in those fresh herbs and just smell that fragrant herbs from the mint family. Oh my goodness. Now, a little trick of the trade. I'm gonna add a ladleful of this pasta water to this mixture. And just that water is flavored with pasta and salt. And that way you can cut down on some of the oil. And just cook that up. So I have a little pasta here. The best way to know if it's done is to taste it. Don't throw it on your walls. Okay? Don't throw it on your walls. Your parents won't appreciate that. So I'm going to taste it. And what you're looking for is el dente. You want it chewy. You don't want it too hard and you don't want it too soft. You want it chewy. And that's not ready. So I carefully bring my pasta over here to the sink where I have some water and I could put it down safely and drain it. Now I have a pasta pot here, so my colander is already in here. You guys, if you have an extra colander, just make sure you're prepared. You understand there's going to be a lot of heat, and shake it all up. Woo! Shake it, shake it, shake it, and get ready to add it to your skillet. So I'm gonna add my pasta to my skillet. Yummy! And I'm gonna mix that around and let that yummy olive oil sauce coat the pasta. So this isn't your typical type of sauce. It's kind of an authentic type of Italian sauce with olive oil and fresh tomatoes. And all those herbs are in there. Again, you can add more if you want or less. And I'm just gonna let that coat. And I'm gonna add some Parmesan cheese and get ready to enjoy. Hi guys. Hi guys. So I have my pasta here. I put a little bit of cheese on top. I'm gonna take a little bite. Lily wants to be in my show. And this is my show. This is Mrs. C's show. Lily. Now, let's just talk about this. I taste the tomato, yum. I taste the fresh herbs, yum. I taste the shallot, yum. And the green onion. And oh my gosh, you guys, this is really good. You gotta try it.